Well, today we're going to look at the last of the World Distributors annuals. So we're into the Colin Baker era, plus a few specials they did. Colin Baker only got 2 annuals. The quality in these leapt up. These are 2 really nice annuals. It's a shame that they never did any Sylvester McCoys just to finish the Doctor's run. But we ended on a high with these. I know a lot of fans don't like these. They seem to be against Colin Baker's run in general, but these are really good stories, well worth a read. Written obviously by someone that's a fan of Colin Baker's Doctor. The artwork's really nice. There's almost, if not any filler. I mean, you've got articles on model making, props. I think they'd finally geared these and thought, we'll aim them at the fans instead of just kids, just in time for the for the sequence to end. You can pick these up pretty dirt cheap, to be honest. No one seems to want them. There's an article on sets. Absolutely gorgeous books these are. And I say dirt cheap. Not very interesting cover, but it's the same shot of Colin that they use on everything, but it's a nice shot of him, so same on the back. If you see these, I'd grab them. Even if you don't like Colin Baker, you can read the stories and they're well written, quite interesting stories. This was the last of the annuals they did, the 86 one. And like I say, they went out on quite a high. The stories remain good. The page count is quite low, but you haven't got any of the filler in it again. It's almost a glorified magazine, this one. Nowhere near as bad as the annuals are now, which are basically just hardbound magazines. So there's an article on makeup, some really nice stories. There's some historical ones in here, some other planet ones. They get the character of the Doctor and Perry really well done in these annuals. I'm a fan of them. I'm a fan of the Colin Baker era anyway, but I'm a fan of these 2 annuals. I think they're both really good. World did a few special annuals. So this one was the Amazing World of Doctor Who, and it was basically a promotion with Typhoon Tea. They did a series of cards, a wall chart, and an annual. And the annual is basically just a reprint of stories that had already appeared in the other annuals, together with a few new articles just to make it worthwhile. The articles are really good, actually. Actually cover some factual stuff. You get a few of the Dalek TV21 comic strips in there, which is always nice. Filler again, not as much as normal, but still a bit. But it's just reprints, basically. It's a way of making something out of nothing, really. And it's quite nice. Quite rare, probably one of the rarer annuals. Always tends to be tatty. You very rarely see them in good condition. I don't know why, perhaps because it was given away free, people didn't value them. But if you see it, it's worth picking up. And then they did 2 other compilations. Now this one I had as a child, and I got it one Christmas, and I was just enthralled by it. I sat and read the stories over and over. I fell in love with the show again, probably thanks to this annual, really. I was going through a bit of a slump. And it's only reprints, but it reprints Tom Baker stuff, John Pertwee, Pat Troughton, William Hartnell. So it's an absolutely treasure trove of stories, suitable for everyone that, whoever your Doctor is. There's going to be stories in here for that Doctor. There's only a couple of Hartnells, a couple of Troughtons. I wish I'd put a couple of more in rather than Tom Baker's ones, but obviously, they were the newest ones, so people probably wanted them. There is an American version of this as well, with a really strange cover. It's actually a version of the next one, which I'll show you in a second. Prices vary on this. Sometimes I've seen it really cheap and sometimes quite expensive. It's a good value book, very thick, and again, nostalgia through and through. Then in Colin Baker's era, they reprinted that same book but added some Colin Baker parts in, and removed some of the older annual stories. So it's almost a reprint of the annuals that you'd just read if you were buying the annuals. You got some Peter Davison's. I think there's one John Pertwee, one Troughton and one Hartnell, a few Tom Bakers. I wish they'd have cut the Tom Bakers down and put a few different Hartnell and Troughtons in there, but beggars can't be choosers. It's actually a really nice book. This one you can pick up dirt cheap. Again, no one seems to want it because I don't know whether it's because it's a Colin Baker piece of merchandise, which is a shame. This is when there's an American one with a different cover, but the contents are exactly the same. So yeah, that was it for the Doctor Who annuals. They did a few like K9 and some Dalek books. I haven't got all of them, so can't really show you the whole sequence. But it's an interesting long 20-odd year run of annuals, and I'm so glad I've got a full set of them. I do read them every now and again. Certain stories I think are some really well written. Some of it is just utter dross, but yeah, grab them out, give them a read. Don't just let them sit on your shelf. Actually read them. I think you'll enjoy them. But thanks for watching that, and I hope it was of interest to someone, and I'll see you again. Thanks then. Bye.